Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Bold predictions for this Oregon program heading into 2024. And Dill, this is one of my favorite times of the offseason where we all have our guys. We all have certain aspects of these programs that we really like a lot. Now we have the opportunity to call our shot heading into 2024. Going to give you guys my 5 bold predictions. I would love to hear from the Oregon fans, whether they have some opinions on my bold predictions or bold predictions of your own. I know every single Oregon fan listening to this has a certain guy they think is going to break out. Throw it in the comments section. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. And Dill, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I've kind of danced around this idea plenty over the last couple of weeks. Have gone back and forth. Ohio State, Oregon, not only two of the better teams in the Big Ten, but in the country. I guess I'm making it official tonight. Oregon winning the Big Ten in 2024. How are we feeling?
I mean, they're certainly in there. I mean, obviously they're in there for the national championship. I think you kind of look at where this Oregon team's going, and again, not quite the Dan Lanning teams in terms of his full roster, his full recruiting class. It's obviously getting there, but you starting to see how they're ramping it up. It certainly looks like a team that in a year or two, it's national championship or bust every year. And if you don't win it, it's a failure, just like it is at Georgia, just like it is at Ohio State. I think they're getting there. I think this is a solid – I think they'll be in it for the Big Ten for sure. I think right now it's Ohio State or Oregon. It's going to be a really, really tight race. Both teams are really, really good. So I like this bold prediction, but frankly, I think the Oregon fans are going to look at you a little like, well, our bold prediction's national champion.
Well, see, you just – that's why I was making the face. I'm sure you saw my face. You're talking about Oregon potentially being a national championship team. We're not sure if they are. This is a team that is 100% capable of winning a national championship. That is the expectation for this Oregon program heading into 2024. Now, sitting here in mid-July, I'm not sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger on the national championship prediction. I'm still mulling over my options. Georgia, Oregon, Texas, couple other teams. But I think I'm ready to kind of come clean and say, I think this Oregon team making it official wins the Big Ten. I think it starts with, you look at the landscape of the Big Ten. I think largely most people consider Ohio State and Michigan the other two contenders in this Big Ten conference. You could maybe throw in Penn State and USC. You look at USC, massive question marks on the defensive side of the football replacing Caleb Williams. You look at Penn State, we just don't know if that offense is going to be capable of winning at the highest level. You look at Michigan, new coaching staff, new quarterback, ton of new questions. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm comfortable saying that. And then you look at Ohio State, and I think the thing that pushes me over the edge for Oregon is Ohio State's got one of the more talented teams we've seen in college football. I have question marks about two of the most important positions on the field, the offensive line and the quarterback spot. Is Will Howard a guy that you can win a Big Ten championship, a national championship with? We've seen him play really good football. I'm not sure if he's that guy that can go out and win at the highest level. I look at this Oregon team and say all the boxes are checked. They're deep along both lines of scrimmage. They have a veteran quarterback in Dylan Gabriel who I trust to go out and make it happen, surrounded by an Oregon offense that is extremely talented. This team on paper, in my mind, is the best team in the Big Ten. Give me Oregon to make it happen in the Big Ten this year, year one.
No, I don't mind it. I think, again, if I'm an Oregon fan, I think they're going to be looking at you like, that's kind of our baseline prediction. We want a national championship. Fair enough. And it's got to be how they look at it, right?
Now, number 2, Dylan Gabriel, first team all Big Ten. This might not be as bold. And again, it kind of goes back to why I'm a believer in this Oregon team in general. You look at the quarterbacks across the Big Ten, kind of just talking about the same conversation we had. Will Howard, think he's solid? Question marks. You have a new quarterback in Miller Moss at USC. I'm a believer in Miller Moss, but he is still a new quarterback. You look at Michigan, we have massive question marks about what the quarterback position is going to look like there. And then you have Drew Aller at Penn State, a guy that played solid football, not Big Ten championship caliber football in 2023. I look at Oregon and say, not only do they have one of the more talented teams around the quarterback, I think they have the best quarterback in the conference in the 2024 season.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with it, like what you said. I don't know that this is really bold at all. I think you look not only in the Big Ten, but across the whole country, you don't have that Caleb Williams or that Bryce Love or that CJ Stroud, those guys who are just next level good are coming back and are just like, oh, these guys a 1-1 pick. There's some really good quarterbacks. You obviously look Carson Beck, very, very good. Shedeur Sanders, good. Quinn Ewers, good. But you haven't seen any of those guys play that dominant football yet. Dillon Gabriel has, I mean, that last season at Oklahoma, I'd argue is pretty dominant.
Dillon Gabriel has been extremely good his whole college football career. And I get the knock. Is Dillon Gabriel going to be a top 10 NFL draft pick? No, probably not. I don't think he has that upper echelon arm talent that you kind of want in a top 10 NFL draft pick. That's not a shot at Dillon Gabriel because he comes into this Oregon offense where the average depth of target was 6.5 yards last year. They are going to ask Dillon Gabriel to make some high caliber throws, which he has shown time and time again that he can make. That being said, they're going to structure this offense very similar to how they worked with Bo Nix. You are going to be a veteran quarterback that knows where you have to go with the football. You're going to be on time, accurate. Go let your playmakers kind of make it happen around you. I think Dillon Gabriel is a perfect fit in this Oregon offense. I think he's going to be extremely productive within this Oregon scheme. Going to my third bold prediction again. I don't know how bold this is. Jordan James going for 1,000 yards. This is a kid who averaged 7.1 yards per carry last year. Kind of got overshadowed because of how good Bucky Irving was. I think the only question mark you have with Jordan James is he going to get enough carries to get to 1,000? Because I think he got two other really good running backs, Noah Whittington and Jay Harris, also in that backfield. If Jordan James gets enough touches, you make no mistake about it, he's going to be one of the more productive running backs that we see not only in the Big Ten, but in the country.
Yeah, and that's honestly the only thing that would naturally hold him back from that 1,000 yards is guys getting touches over him, but also if they're just scoring too quickly on offense, hitting enough explosive plays, and they're going to run teams off the field for the most part. Like they're going to probably play 3 or 4 close games, and that does make it hard for a running back to hit that 1,000-yard mark. You've seen some good running backs not quite hit that just by the nature of being on a really, really good team and an explosive offense. And if Oregon kind of is what we think they're going to be, they're not going to be playing a ton of close.
One of the things that I love most about Oregon's offense going back to the 2023 season was how balanced they were. I mean, I think Bo Nix got a lot of the attention. I don't think enough people were talking about how good the offensive line was and how good the running back room was and how good they were at running the football. It's a top 10 rushing offense in terms of yards per carry in the country. They're going to lean on this running game. I think Jordan James is a kind of back that can take 20 carries a game and kind of be comfortable and wear opposing defenses down. And all that being said, he's running
some top big ones. That's the one thing I think you look for Jordan James. I think he does have a bit of that home run threat that, again, you saw last year to an extent, but I do think he jacks that up. I do think he's got a bit more straight line speed.
Not enough people talk about what he can. I feel like Jordan James gets this label that he's just a physical between the tackles back. Make no mistake about it. He can run the rock hard. He can, when he gets to the second level, he can make people miss and kind of hit those chunk plays as well. I completely agree with that as well. Going to my fourth bold prediction, 2 1,000-yard receivers for this Oregon offense. They were able to do it in 2023. I think, Dill, I viewed this Oregon offense essentially just running it back. You lose Bo Nix, you replace him with Dillon Gabriel, just another veteran quarterback that is going to run this offense at a very high level. You lose Troy Franklin, you bring in Evan Stewart. Very similar kind of wide receivers that excel working vertically down the field, quite frankly. And this is, again, not a knock at Troy Franklin. I think Evan Stewart's just a little bit more talented. And so I look at this Oregon offense and say, why can't it look the exact same pretty much from what we saw in 2023, where, yes, you replace one of your top wide receivers, your starting quarterback. I think it's going to look very similar. Give me Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart going for over 1,000 yards in the 2024 season.
Yeah, Tez goes for 1,000 easy. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. I think he's probably closer to 1,500, frankly, as I'm kind of looking at it right here. And then it's kind of about Evan Stewart staying healthy. I think that's been kind of one of the things that's been not a struggle. It has been what it is for his college career. That's prevented him from putting up big numbers. But I think you're right. Just his ability to, frankly, get downfield, play vertical, but also catch plays underneath and do what Oregon more wants their wide receivers to be able to do, especially working with Gabriel. I think he does give them a little bit more flexibility and in well-roundedness probably than what Troy Franklin had.
Yeah, Troy Franklin, I think this is maybe why he fell in the NFL draft, maybe a little bit of a one-trick pony in terms of just being long, fast, working vertically down the field. Evan Stewart has a little bit more nuance to his game. One of the things that makes me a little nervous about this prediction is I just think there's so many different pass catchers that are going to eat up targets, right? You look at Terrence Ferguson at the tight end spot. You look at Kyle Casper, Jurion Dickey, or Gary Bryant Jr. It's a legitimate embarrassment of riches in terms of the pass catchers that they have. Is Evan Stewart going to get enough attention, enough opportunities to go for
it? Because I like the other wide receivers they have, but make no mistake, Evan Stewart, aside from Tez Johnson, he's the guy. I don't think it's those guys are really good. Evan Stewart's played at a different level at times.
Yeah, I think we're a lot higher than most on Evan Stewart because we remember what he was as a true freshman.
I was banging on about him being able to hang with Marvin last year, and he obviously didn't stay healthy, and that offense didn't really get to work. But his true freshman year was awesome.
Going to my defensive bowl prediction, I only had one, Dale, and I was thinking of so many different ways. I was trying to think about who's going to lead this team in sacks, and I didn't really feel comfortable about picking any of them. You know what I mean? I believe in Jordan Burst, Mateo U, Tatum Tuioti, or even a guy like Blake Purchase. So I went with one, and that is one freshman All-American on the defensive side of the football. Now the question is, who's it going to be? I like Elijah Rushing. I like Aiden Breland. I just don't know if they'll get enough opportunities to get on the field enough to be All-Americans. I'm going to go to where Oregon is probably the thinnest. And they're not thin at a lot of different spots. I mean, they're pretty deep at pretty much every single position. The safety spot. You're bringing Kobe Savage. I think you feel good about that. You're kicking Tasheem Johnson in. I think he's going to do a lot of different things in that defensive backroom. I think there's a very good chance that Aaron Flowers is your third safety. And if you want to kick down Tasheem Johnson to that nickel, I think Aaron Flowers is going to play a lot. We saw what Aaron Flowers can do in the bowl game. And what makes me so confident that Aaron Flowers is a year one kind of guy, we talk about different kind of recruits. Some guys need a year, others don't. Aaron Flowers doesn't. I mean, this was a guy that when we broke him down committing to Oregon as a senior in high school, we said this kid's ready from a physical standpoint to step on a college football field and hang. And then what did you see during the spring game? The instincts. So now we know he has the physical traits. Now he knows what he's doing on the football field, which are the two kind of big prohibitors of true freshmen getting on the field. Aaron Flowers, all a freshman All-American on the defensive side of the football. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, I didn't need any more convincing than that spring game. I thought he looked awesome. I still kind of question who's going to be that true free safety, that guy playing in the back as the single high kind of look. I don't think Kobe Savage, that's necessarily where I'd want to see him. I think he's better in the box, better on the line of scrimmage. That's where he shined at his time at Kansas State. He can play that free safety, but I don't know that he kills it there. I think Aaron Flowers looked really, really good, was getting to the ball quickly, looked like he had the range and the ball skills. I think he has what it takes. And again, I don't know that Oregon knows exactly who's going to be thriving out there in that deeper half.
There's a bunch. I mean, Kingston Lopa, Peyton Woodyard. I feel pretty good about the young safeties that they have in this room. Aaron Flowers going to be my pick. Dale, we'll close it there. Would love to hear from the Oregon fans in the comment section how you feel about my bold predictions, but more importantly, how you're feeling about your own bold predictions. Let's hear them in the comment section. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.